Hey everybody, my name is Candace Daniolo, and I am here tonight because we've got a brand new exciting experience for Pet Plus readers and also Pet Boss Nation fans. So if you can hear me, please put in the chat that you're here with us. Tell me the name of your business, tell me what city you're from and what kind of business you have, because tonight it's going to be me and Jungle Bob chatting. So I want to get to know you first though. We've got Marilyn from Virginia. And let's see, Susan Keller's here, fabulous. So as you're joining in, welcome everybody. We've got a great group of petpreneurs, Pets Plus readers, and Pet Boss Nation fans. So welcome. Now, one of the cool things that I've been able to do more recently is I have become a columnist for Pets Plus magazine. I absolutely love this magazine. I started writing for them earlier this year. And I thought to myself, gosh, this is so exciting. Retailers and pet industry professionals are absolutely loving this magazine, right? If you love this magazine, I want you to make a comment in the comments there to say how much you love this magazine, because I've got to tell you, I have been in the pet industry for over 15 years, and there are a lot of magazines out there. And this magazine I was just so impressed by. So recently at Super Zoo, you're getting the insider story here. Recently at Super Zoo, I thought, oh my gosh, we just have to get the readers to have access to the experts that have access to the cool stores that are being featured. I mean, again, this magazine's so fabulous. So if you're just joining us, make sure to tell us, where you're from. And one of the really cool things that we're going to be featuring is this whole Beyond the Pages idea, where I'm going to be interviewing different contributors and different writers and some of the coolest stores in the magazine every month. So this is just the kickoff one. We're just getting started. And one of the cool things that Pets Plus magazine does is they have a feature called the Coolest Stores section. And back in July and August, they ran a contest called America's Coolest Store Contests. And all kinds of pet businesses across the country applied to be a winner. And America's Coolest Store Contest highlights the best examples of independent pet businesses throughout the United States. Businesses are judged by a panel of experts. I was fortunate enough to be one of those experts, and they're judged on the basis of best practices, history, online presence, their traditional advertising that they did, and their interior decor curb appeal. Well, the July-August issue highlighted already the top 3 businesses. They're here. You've got Jungle Bob is on the cover, and also Animal Connection got second place, and the Hungry Puppy was in third. Now, the key to all of these business owners' successes is really sharing what's worked. Well, they've got lots of keys to successes, but one of the keys and cool things to this article is that they share their successes and how they've gotten there. They've shared what worked and what didn't. And, they're all just like you and me. I was a pet store owner. I still have a doggy daycare. And now I do business consulting. So they're just like you and me. They've stepped out of their comfort zone. They've rolled up their sleeves and have gotten to work, and they've seen huge successes. And that's what this segment is all about, is about introducing you to them. And now between now and July 2018, there's going to be a feature of all the honorable mentions and other really cool stores. So make sure to keep looking ahead at all those issues. But I want to dig in right now to why we're here. And we are here because we want to talk to the 2017 winner, Jungle Bob. But before I go to Jungle Bob, I want to show you this amazing video from his homepage. Okay, guys? He has this amazing video. And if you haven't seen his videos, I want you to check out YouTube. But I'm going to show his promo video. It's fabulous.
The basis of the lectures really is conservation, and that's where I started. Our show, the basic one, is called The Unloved, the Unusual, and the Unknown Creatures, Introduction to Reptiles, Amphibians, and Invertebrates, which is bugs and arachnids and things like that. If you can appreciate the role of a tarantula and a snake and a lizard in the environment, maybe there's a chance you'll appreciate the rest of it. It's really a bottom effort to try to get people into the conservation movement.
My favorite animal to work with is probably Castro, our Cuban rock iguana. again, because he's just got one of the most unique personalities of any lizard as far as convincing people that they aren't so bad. He's very placid. He walks around the store almost like a dog or something people always compare him to. But he's just always very stoic and never shows any aggression. It's almost like he wants to educate people, I'd say.
He is, a 4-foot-plus lizard who's very imposing looking. Looks like he'll take your hand off if you turn the wrong way, but he's so docile and so tame. So he's been our ambassador.
The main thing we want people to understand is that not all of them are dangerous. They're not out to get you. Reptiles in general do not want any part of humans. The majority of them, pretty much 100% of the species, are all scared of us. Mainly just try to get people not to be so anti-reptile.
You either love them or you loathe them. There's no in between, really. And we try to take people to stop the hatred part by experiencing them. And most of the people coming into the store here because they're fascinated by them, but they always tag along somebody who's not. Just touch the animal. I don't want to do it, I'm afraid. Just experience it and try to break that myth. And that's really what I do.
A lot of people, I think, like to act more scared than they really are, just for the thrill of it, I guess. You don't have to love it, you don't have to own one, you don't have to, let them in your house or anything like that, but just not to hate on them is the main thing. They're not any more dangerous than, your household dog or cat or anything like that. A lot of them are still scared of them afterwards, they don't take it in, but a lot of them actually end up leaving here with a pet of some sort, so it's always rewarding to see that.
We get people from all over the country and the world who wish they had something like this by their house, and then some people who just driving by or walking in the door are already making cringy faces and going, oh, and yuck. And typically even those people we can convince.
About 2 or 3 years ago, we started doing senior citizens. The results have been fantastic. They got huge smiles on their face at the end. I got pictures of 6 people in a wheelchair with a 12-foot snake draped across them with grins from ear to ear. They never saw anything like it before.
Again, if you're afraid of them, it's okay to be afraid of them. Certain ones we've either been taught to be afraid of, or there really is a reason to, if so, just learn about them. Mostly if you're afraid of them, that they're also afraid of you. So if you just leave them alone and kind of give them their distance, and they'll give you their space.
Just like any other fear, it's because you're not sure that it's unknown. Most people don't have the opportunity to get up close and personal with a snake or a lizard. So that's what we give them the chance to do.
They're not all atrocious animals that are out to kill us all. They're actually pretty useful and very amazing creatures.
All right, so make sure, wasn't that super cool? Can't you see why I wanted to interview him? I mean, he's amazing, right? So Jungle Bob, are you there? Can you hear us?
Yes, I am. How we doing?
There he is, everybody.
The feed's coming through okay. Good.
Yeah, you're coming through okay. We can hear you great. Welcome to our very first episode of Beyond the Pages for Pets Plus magazine.
That's 2 firsts for me. First the magazine, now this. I'm very, very honored and looking forward to it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. So tell us, I mean, that video is just so fabulous. And that's one of the things that you are known for is your YouTube videos and connecting what you're doing in the pet space to consumers and educating. I mean, you're using a really cool platform, and I totally want to get into that, but I just want to know, I want to know more about you. I know the readers have read things and they can find stuff online, but who's the real Bob?
Yeah. Well, if you saw some of my bios online, I've been doing this a long, long time. Since I was a little shaver of 6 years old, I moved out to Long Island from New York City and discovered my first snake, and that's really when it all began. I couldn't believe the fascination I had for it, but the fear everybody else had for it that was around me was what almost attracted me more. Everybody was afraid of this thing, and I'm like, why is it? I never saw one before. It could have been a cobra. It was just a little garter snake, It was harmless as can be. But it started this lifelong fascination, and it's been a really wonderful ride the last 10 years in the pet business. I'm so happy to be here after spending most of my career in the computer world.
Yeah, so you were very successful in the computer space, and during that time, is that when you were traveling all over the world?
That's where it started, yes. We had a not-for-profit at first called the International Fauna Society, where we would put out a beautiful magazine. We had a full four-color magazine, kind of like a National Geographic, but of course, just for these types of animals. reptiles, amphibians, and invertebrates. But the second part of it was we took people on ecotourist trips. So I was in Costa Rica, I don't know, 15 or 16 times over the years, and then expanded out and went to different countries. And last I checked, I think my passport was 21 different countries and 50 trips abroad. So we're walking the walk as well as talking the talk. It's a lot of fun to see the animals in the wild. And for those interested, no, we don't capture them and bring them back to the store. The industry really has gone to a captive bred model, and I'm so happy about that because the animals, wild animals belong in the wild and captive ones belong in captivity. And that's really a great place to be in the reptile business.
Yeah. So when you decided to sell your business, I mean, where were you around that thought process? Like, were you just ready for a change, or you wanted to pursue your passion? Like, what made you sell your business for success in a successful career to then go into something that's not easy? Brick and mortar retail is not easy.
Well, some people warned me, but I didn't listen to them. It was a lot more fun being in the computer business and traveling to Costa Rica 4 times a year, but no regrets really, because it was just the right time. I was in the computer service business in Manhattan and the surrounding cities and states in the Northeast here. And post 9/11, I really lost interest in doing it. That was a very, very tough day for everybody. But for us in the business, we lost many customers. We lost many friends. It was very hard to get around and do service on computer systems. And I just had one of those moments in life. Why am I doing this anymore? And then luckily, the right guy came along to take it off my hands, and he merged it in. And most of the people that worked for me were taken care of. And we went on to the next level. I worked there for a little while, but my heart wasn't into it. I went right into the reptile experience, and Jungle Bob was born slightly after that. Before that, I was just Bob.
It's really funny because I feel like that's you now. You know, you really have spent the decade building this personality brand. And it's not easy for people to do, but you have, I think, successfully done it. So was that your plan from the beginning? Was it to put your name on it?
It's less than 10 years right now that I'm in the pet business. And even in the beginning, I mean, as Jungle Bob from the beginning in the pet business, but it all started with a good friend of mine. Our previous iteration in the reptile world was the International Fauna Society. And I thought it was a great name because fauna and the flora is all the living things on the planet. Flora being all the plants and fauna being all the animal life. And I thought it was a great name for an organization like ours. But I found out halfway through it that half the people didn't know what the word meant. So a friend of mine who is a real great marketeer sat with me one day over a cup of coffee and said, I don't know why you called it fauna, because it's really a terrible name. It should have been like, I don't know, Jungle Bob or something. I said, wow, that's a really good idea. And it was born right there. And I started going out doing school presentations and libraries. And that's really where my roots are, is in the education and the conservation part of it. And I went back to my local pet store one day to pick up my supplies, and it was for sale. And here I am 9 years later with 2 stores, websites, a distribution center, a brand, and no free time anymore to travel anywhere. you can't get out there like you used to. But yeah, my son Dylan is picking up the baton on that. He's quite the traveler, and I'm living vicariously through him these days.
Yes, yes. Well, let's go back to those early years when you first started. So was it, if you could look back now and tell your, I don't know, 10-year younger self, you were 21 then? 10-year younger self, to give him some pointers and some tips. Like, what I guess was surprising to you? Like, what would you do differently now?
I don't think I do much differently. I think I do it a little quicker than I did. I kind of sat and grumbled a lot. Like, I see a lot of my colleagues in the pet business, pet store owners in particular. There's a lot of us that are, sorry, not 21, Candace, a little bit more of a baby boomer, that were here in the old days. I hear it all the time as I go out and try to sell my wares and my Jungle Bob brand to other stores. They all start reminiscing about what the pet business was like, what it was like owning a pet store in the 1980s and 90s. And I feel for them because I understand the world's changed so fast. Even in the last 9 years, things have changed so fast that I've adapted over and over again, but that's always been me. I've always been able to do that in my career. But some people can't, and I'm trying to help them with my brand to say, hey, there's another way to do business. It's not the same old, put the same 5 items on the shelf and hope someone buys it. Mix it up a little and be different once in a while. And I'm trying to express that to people. And I think that's the key to it. Had I gone back and done it again, I would have started doing more presentations. I would have started my brand far earlier. because the brand is what separated us from the rest of the pack. You can't buy Jungle Bob brand on Amazon or eBay unless it originates from Jungle Bob. I'm getting a piece of each one of those sales. Where if you're doing ordinary pet store fare that everybody else is selling, there's always one person out there on those marketplaces that is giving it away for 2% above what they paid. And it's very difficult to make a living selling what everybody else has. If you have a little bit of an exclusive item, you're ahead of the pack. That's where we are now. And if I had to do it over again, that's what I would have done. Started the brand far earlier, different products, and experimented more right from the get-go. But we took a beating like everybody else there for a while until we figured out what to do. That was, I think, 2014. We had the idea, and 2015 we launched the line.
Okay, great. So, has it been easy for you? Have you been able to explode that yet, or is that still a work in progress?
It's still a work in progress, and easy is never in the sentence, really. I mean, my previous job, I had 36 technical people, and we serviced large computer systems in mostly banks from Maine to Philadelphia. I had 36 guys in the field fixing things with 4-hour response time, with traffic in the New York area, parts issues, and you name it. And that was easier than this. This is not a business to be in. That's why I really like to work with some of my other pet store colleagues to share notes and try to figure out how to do this. There's competition from every angle, and we've got to band together somehow to fight the marketplaces, the big box stores, the internet in general. It's difficult for a brick and mortar store to stay alive. Our destination store is the answer for me. People come to the store. I don't expect them to buy anything. It's just the experience of being there. That's why we won. Thanks again, Pets Plus. That was really great to be on the cover. And a destination cool store is really what we are. That's why people come. Eventually, they'll start to buy. And that's what's happening to us. So we opened a second store earlier this year, and it's starting to happen here now. And I think there's a great growth path there for us if we attract the right employees to come help us make it even a bigger chain. And that's what we're hoping to do.
So in that, back to the like creating your own uniqueness through your own brands, like what's the first step to that? Like, do you have a variety of ways that you've done it? Like because I know there's got to be people watching right now who are interested in private label or manufacturing their own. What's the first kind of step down that road?
Yeah, well, I've seen already in the last couple of years as I travel to super zoos and globals that a lot of the manufacturers are a lot more open to it than they were back in 2014. I had a lot of little items that I would just, grab and stick my own label on it and say it's mine. But it really came to fruition when I started upping the ante, going to manufacturers and saying, hey, I want to be your exclusive representative, but it's got to be under my name. And put some, not dollars on the table, but put a commitment on the table to do X amount of dollars a year. And I believed in the product. I thought it was great. I tried every one of the items that we've ever private labeled in the store for a good 2, 3, 4 months before we launched it to make sure it worked. I didn't want to put my name on just anything. That took a little longer, but it paid off. We started with light bulbs, and they're extremely popular. We went to bedding, and then I got the big score, which was the Jungle Bob aquarium products. I stepped a little bit out of the reptile comfort zone and dipped my toe in the water. Sorry for the bad pun, but we're doing aquarium supplies almost strictly online, and that's opened up a whole nother market for us.
So you said strictly online, so you don't have any of that in your physical location?
I do have it here, not in my main store, in the Selden store, which is our destination. There's very few items there that are aquarium. I'm here tonight in my Oakdale distribution center, where we welcome people to come to I say it's like a reptile aquarium Costco. It's got pallet racks, and there's a lot of products here. And that's where we have it more on display. And we have some other things to cater to aquarium enthusiasts, netting and fish food, salt, saltwater aquariums, and so on. But don't get me wrong, our core certainly is reptiles. That's where we want to stay. It's just the items lend themselves to being in the same type of enclosure. So why not give it a shot?
Why not?
It's proved to really boost the revenue and opened up my eyes to how big the rest of the pet market really is.
Right. So what I've heard you say this whole time is that you are comfortable, stepping out and not okay with complaining about the past. You know that there's opportunity available. You've made some pivots. You've stayed excited about it. You've adapted the technology through YouTube, social media, and different aspects. You're involved in your community. You became unique. You wanted a way to compete with big box, and then you also saw an opportunity where you could add a whole new department that complemented the rest of your brand.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it's, for me, I would say that you can almost like.
Yeah, and once in a while, I get to sleep. Yeah, it sounds like we do so much, but I got a great staff. My two sons are with me in the stores. I've got two great experienced guys that help run each one of the retail stores who've been doing it a long, long time. What we really need in our business right now is more people that are savvy with the internet and its ways, who can post on eBay and understand that there's more to Amazon than just buying paper towels or whatever it is you buy there. There's a lot more to learn in some of these marketplaces. And those are the two that dominate, but my goodness, there's hundreds of them out there where you could place products and try to sell it. And we're experimenting with them to try to pick our spot, to see the sweet spot as to who's looking for our type of products and where are they searching. You know, what rock are they turning over to see where there's good deals on reptile supplies and aquarium supplies. And I have no answer to that other than trial and error. I'm sure there's more sophisticated people out there that have some algorithm to figure that out, but I don't. I just have gut feel and trial and error and a lot of perseverance to keep trying. And a lot of failures, but you don't dwell on those. You dwell on the few successes, and that's what separates the pack. Again, is just keep going. Just keep going every day.
That's great advice, Bob.
Yeah.
So I want to talk more too about your sons and being their boss and their leader, and what's that like?
Oh my God. How long do we have here? Yeah, that's a double-edged sword. You know, we all love each other, but when you're a father and an entrepreneur and the boss, sometimes it's hard. I was never very successful at getting him to clean the room, and not so successful in getting him to clean the store either. But they really have a tremendous knowledge of the animals and a customer service that is really surpasses mine. They've got patience that I lost mine about 10 years ago. So they have patience for the mom and dad who come in and know nothing. They'll answer every question over and over and over again without hesitation. But then when the superstar reptile breeder, local guy comes in and knows everything or thinks he does, we can talk to him as well. You know, we can go talk the Latin names and the species and the genus and go toe-to-toe with almost anybody I've ever encountered between myself, my sons, and the rest of my staff. So we cater to that hobbyist. Some of the reptile stores across the country I've been to do not. They want to be at that higher echelon and kind of don't want to deal with the person who wants their first animal, where I think that's the bread and butter. And that's what's going to, 1 out of 100 of those people are going to go on to become one of those aficionados. Like me, before I bought the store, I had 120 animals in the basement of my house. I was a way out there collector. And that was the basis of the store, is moving that collection into a retail environment and adding product and adding customers. And that's what we are today. We tripled our sales, almost quadrupled our sales in 9 years. So I think we have the right formula.
I think that translates really well for retailers who sell dog and cat food that are watching. I think sometimes people who have been in the industry for a long time or who are very passionate about nutrition can get very, not only passionate, but they have to be careful about not talking down to the newbie dog owner or the person who bought the bad food and they just don't know, right? And it's our place to be successful to really be able to communicate and help service all of those customers.
Right. The public's not easy. I mean, we love them. They're our customers and they're the necessity, but sometimes they're not easy. And some, you know, there's larcenous things that go on sometimes, but it's the mundane questions that happen day in, day out. How much does he weigh? What does he eat? Where does he come from? And you could write it and put it on a plaque and put it in front of the cage. They're going to ask you anyway. So if you do that 6 days a week for 10 hours a day, you know, it can get to you. Certainly got to me over the years. But my sons have that temperament that they can absorb it, and they love to spew out what they know, and they can talk at the level of the person they're dealing with. That's so important. I've been to so many pet stores. When I first bought in, I just went around to all the local stores and tried to see how they were doing business. And I think it was 70% or more didn't even acknowledge that I walked in the store. I was just a customer. It wasn't Jungle Bob. No hat. No one knows me, right? And I walk into the store and I'm walking around for 20 minutes and nobody looked up. That's a death sentence for a pet store owner. You have to engage the people with at least a smile. What can I do for you? You're just looking, that's fine. I'm here if you have any questions whatsoever. And they do almost immediately. And if you're a salesperson, you know a question leads to a sale, because if you have the answer, you find out why they're there. And they're not just browsing, they're actually looking for a pet lizard. And now you know how to go forward. So that kind of basic sales skill is really important in a pet store, but you can learn that, but you can't learn how to be polite and how to be friendly and how to truly care about the person that's in front of you. And that's what our store has, no doubt about it.
Yeah, for sure. So we are at a point where I would love to start taking questions, and I think that, but I didn't say that in the beginning. I'd love for anyone that's watching, if you haven't typed up any questions yet, please go ahead and do so. And Christina is filtering through those, any that have come. But while we're waiting for some questions, do you have a friend with you?
I got all kinds of friends here, yeah.
All kinds of friends. All right, I'm going to make your screen bigger so you can introduce us to your friends.
With all kinds of
oh my gosh. I just made your screen bigger. I had no idea.
Well, that's Rosie, yeah. That's one of the animals we call it our posse. These are the animals we go around to birthday parties with and presentations. It's definitely a conversation piece, but one of the most tame animals I've got is a rose-haired tarantula that is just not as aggressive as everybody always thinks they are. So we use them in our presentations, or her, I should say. And she was just walking around my back before we started talking, so she decided to come up the other side, and there she is. So there's some other critters. They're around the office somewhere. They'll pop up.
Okay. Oh, my goodness. Okay. So, well, on that, we've got Frank Avento, if I'm pronouncing that right. Frank wants to know what your favorite reptile or amphibian is.
Yeah, my favorite is one I fell in love with a long time ago, and that's our most famous animal in the store is Castro, which is not a green iguana. He's a Cuban rock iguana, donated to us by a good friend many, many years ago, and just has become the mascot of the store. You saw him on the video a couple of times that preceded me talking here, that big dark lizard. It's from the Cyclura genus. It's you see those animals, they're land iguanas or rock iguanas that inhabit all the Caribbean islands. The green ones are everywhere. Central, South America, you'll see them on the islands as well. They're great animals, but they get kind of big and they're more, arboreal. They want to be up in a tree. That's their nature. Where the rock iguanas get older, they get really kind of lazy, if you will, and they just kind of sit around. And Castro, if I had to get rid of all of them, he's the only one I want to keep at this point. You come to my store, he's always on the floor. He's walking around. Kids lay on the floor and play with him, and we've taught him to come on command. So
wow,
quite the conversation piece. There's videos on the YouTube channel. We want to go see that. Everybody's experienced that, and the kids just love it. So that just sparks so much goodwill. If a kid can come in and mom and dad are petrified, and the kids go, "No, Dad, look, he's really, really tame," and they start petting him. It's quite the experience, and he's our ambassador for sure.
Yeah, and I'm sure people take pictures with him and put on social media, and
yeah.
I didn't know what happened, and then the word's getting out about you and getting your store, and no, it's great. You've got that really.
He got so popular. He's been on Good Day New York. He's got his own Facebook site now, so if you want to go check out Castro on Facebook and his antics, he's out there like he's the celebrity that he is. October 2nd, 3rd, 4th, we're going to be at a trade show. A new one over there, a B2B show that's happening in Philadelphia. So for the pet store people in the Northeast, it's not global. You don't got to get on a plane. You can get in the car, go down the turnpike or up the turnpike to Philadelphia, and you'll see Castro there. And Castro is going to be in he's the photo sponsor booth with me and the Jungle Bob group. So if you
that's awesome. That's the Pet Connections Expo. I'll be there as well, so I get to see you there too. I'm doing some campfire sessions, teaching retailers about pricing for profits and hiring key employees and things like that. So we'll both.
It's a new show, so we really need some attendance. There's some great performers there. My good friend Nance Hassel is going to be there. If you know American Pet Professionals, Nance is awesome, and she is doing a couple of talks from what I hear. And it should be a great show. So all you pet store people that are out there, please come on down and see us and meet Castro. Yeah.
Definitely. All right, let's see. We've got Remy. Remy is curious if you do sell because you did talk about Amazon a little bit. So if you actually are selling your products on Amazon, and if so, are they fulfilled by Amazon or by a seller?
Yeah, we tried all that, and we currently took things down on Amazon. We made a couple of mistakes with them, put up too many products, and boy, they were pretty unforgiving. If you didn't have something in stock, they kind of beat us up. So we went back to eBay. We have two eBay sites, one for reptile products, one for aquarium products. And we're going to relaunch the Amazon very shortly, but we're going to make it very, very specific products. As a matter of fact, one of my ideas is to lean it just to bearded dragon products, because we have so many items for that number one animal in the reptile business, which is the beardy. And we think we could do something a little more specific like that. It doesn't have to be a Jungle Bob Amazon site. It could be anybody's, but it will feature our products along with all the products we think are good products that go for that animal. And there's opportunities there. I don't have to do the fulfillment part of it to answer his question, because we have a nice size warehouse here and a good shipping department and software that can get the product out the door. So I don't want to spend all that money, and just Amazon is great, but wow, there's a lot of work that's involved with it. And I like being my own boss, not being bossed by someone else.
That's right. Yeah. Right. And then Remy was also asking about eBay. That's all strictly like you sell from them. They don't have fulfilled by seller, do they?
Not to my knowledge. I don't really post up there on a daily basis. My staff does, but I don't think they have that feature. And we're doing fine with that. We're moving some product. We're attracting people. You know, you can't just scooch people over to your website there. That's not allowed either. But they see the brand and they go and do their own research, and they find her site maybe, and they'll find some other items. They find the YouTube series, and often they find the stores, and that's just a home run. So we love our relationship with eBay. Again, we will get back on the horse and get back on the Amazon bandwagon, but we're in the middle of a software upgrade right now, so we'll probably do that towards the end of the year.
Okay, gosh, that's a huge undertaking, really. Switching systems and processes sometimes. All right, we've got Keith Miller wants to know what benefits you offer your staff to keep them long-term.
Wow, we have most of our staff are part-timers, and the part-timers that do the cleaning and that kind of thing are pretty much younger people, high school, college age, in their 20s, and they come and go. So unfortunately for them, there are no benefits but a 25% discount at the register. So we attract some great herpers that always want to take advantage of that. And, we pay them, but I've often said, I bet you I could get a bunch of people to work for free, because to be in the store is such a treat. To be around the animals, if you love what you do, that's where it is. Other than that, for salaried people, they get all the holidays off. They get some time off during the year based on service. And right now we have just a dental plan, but we would hope in the future to get the health insurance. Right now, we don't really need it because most of us have it from other sources. So, I'm a big fan, or I try to watch out for burnout. I mean, I burn out from time to time because I go so fast, but you got to really be careful and watch that people don't, and they need their time off. So you can't keep driving people, oh, retail 6 days a week. It really is 7 days a week, but you can't have someone work 6 days a week, 52 weeks a year. It's never going to end up well. So I try to get them to take their time and get their travel in. And for the salaried people that are in a management capacity, they get paid for that. So that's the perk.
That's
looking for a job?
I don't know. Frank he keeps asking some industry specific questions for you. He says here, Frank wants to know, how do you feel about biopod tanks?
Oh my goodness. I saw biopods for the first time, Frank, at the Super Zoo show, and we are all over it. That is the item I think we're going to have in our store very shortly, as soon as they start to get their inventory up and ship. We're talking to them in sidebars right now, because I've dreamt of that, conceived that, thought about that with the circadian rhythms and all the items just working for the animal in his natural habitat pretty much my whole life. And I can't believe.
What is a biopod tank? I mean, for us that aren't.
I saw it at Super Zoo. It's a new company. It's a bunch of really great guys that conceived this, and I believe they told me they got their startup money through Kickstarter. They went for X amount of dollars, and they got 10 times that, or 100 times that amount. So they're putting out this reptile or amphibian or whatever you want to put in there tank that's aquatic in the bottom, but everything is controlled through an app, and everything is controlled to what the animal needs based on where he comes from in the world, his latitude, his longitude, his humidity, his temperature, and it's all built in. So if I say rose-haired tarantula, the system knows what a rose-haired tarantula needs as per the month of the year that it is. In the summer, there's more light than there is in the winter type of thing here in New York. That's a circadian rhythm, and that's what really puts an animal at ease. You know, we pop lights on in the morning, boom, 100-watt light goes on. That's really not the way the sun comes up. The sun comes up slowly, and that's how an animal reacts. At night, the sun goes down slowly. And those are the kind of things the biopod apparently does. Haven't gotten my hand on one, but boy, we're going to stock them, and they'll be here at Jungle Bob's. We are all in on biopod.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I think that's all for our questions, unless we get some more popping through. But just to kind of sum up and wrap up our segment here, I'd love to know, I'm sure everyone watching would too, like, what's the one trait that you feel like you should work on? Because it seems like you are super awesome and amazing at all kinds of things. So what's the one thing that you should really work on, that you know you should work on? And then what's the thing that's made you the most successful?
Yeah, well, I say to my staff all the time, I'm a type A. It's hard to be around me sometimes, and I never said I was a patient person. That really has helped me in my career. I have a drive that some people really can't be around because it's too much, and other people envy because it's too much. So it's really a double-edged sword there. I got to be careful to be patient, because not everybody goes at the same speed. Not that they're bad people or I'm a bad person, but we all move at a different rhythm, you know? And I just want to go all day, and I'm extremely impatient when it doesn't go in my way. Maybe I'm a sore loser way deep down, but I don't lose very often. So that's why I am that type A, and I keep driving. So it's the patience or lack thereof that I think separates me from a couple of other people. I'll apologize to my two sons right now, because they're usually the brunt of my lack of patience. Why didn't we do that yesterday? I always want it to be as perfect as I can and as fast as I can. And that's really not a good thing. Not good for my stress level either. But my blood pressure is perfect. So I think I think I've learned how to vent with that lack of patience, and that's helped me in my career big time.
That's awesome, Bob. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with our readers from Pets Plus magazine. And I want to go ahead and Christina, our moderator, has a link to your YouTube channel. If anyone wanted to check out, you have over 200 videos, right, on YouTube.
Yeah, we have a lot of videos that we homespun, and a couple that a great company out there called Howcast hired me to do. It's their video, but we star in it. And it's, last I checked, it was over 13 million views, collectively, that is. So I'll apologize to anybody who's critiqued me on them, because I think there was 100 of those, and they were all done in one take. And that's the truth. So sometimes after the 34th video, I erred a little bit here and there. I think one of them I called a centipede an arachnid. I know it's not, but it just came out of my mouth. And I said words wrong a few spots here and there. But for the most part, they're perfect for that first timer. And we get people coming in the store all the time who say, my kids just do nothing but watch it all day long. And that's so flattering to hear. Just this week, we had a family come in from Switzerland and moved to New York, and they couldn't believe that Jungle Bob's was the neighborhood they moved to, because it doesn't say in the videos that I have a store on Long Island, that I'm even in the pet business. They thought I was some guy from the Outback, you know? And that's there's a frog on the screen, excuse me. So
hang on, I can make it.
That's a great thing, the YouTube video. We're quite proud of those, and there's more to come. We're going to experiment with some new animals very, very shortly.
Great, great. And for those of you that want to continue seeing these behind the pages segments that I'm going to be doing with some of the coolest pet stores in Pets Plus magazine from across the country, you can sign up on Pets Plus's website to get their emails. Christina's going to put that link up as well. Okay. And if you want to learn more about how to grow your business, you're all welcome to join my community at Pet Boss Nation, where we bring profits to pet businesses. We help you grow your business, stay in business, build the business that supports the life that you want. So check us out at Pet Boss Nation. And Bob, thank you so much.
That was great, Candace. My pleasure. Anytime you want to do it again, let me know.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of fun. We should feature all your creatures.
We can go once a week if you like. Yeah.
Once a week. All right, sounds great. Well, for everyone that stayed on, there is a replay. We'll make sure you got that again. And again, Bob, thank you so much.
Okay, you take care.
All right. Bye, everybody.
See ya.